morning, Marauders. I'm Gus.
And I'm Andres.
Do you ever wonder what goes on behind the scenes of popular films?
Actually, yeah. One of our sophomores made a video about that, so let's take a look.
My name is Michael McMaster. I own McMaster Media Productions, which produces robots for Disney and Lucasfilm. So, day to day, we build a lot of movie prop replicas, specifically robots. So I usually start my morning going through our schedule. We have a work schedule where we have to determine what has to be done a specific day, how much time we have to produce it. And so it's usually start the day trying to figure out what parts need to be built and what if I need to order any parts, who I should contact, what's their timeline. So it's usually just organizing at the beginning of the day. I was born and raised on a citrus farm that my parents and grandparents have had since 1919, so we're almost 100 years in the farming business. 4.5 years ago, 5 years ago, I got a job through Lucasfilm restoring one of their robots. It was an R2-D2. From there I started building droids for Lucasfilm. I built Chopper for Star Wars Rebels, a mouse droid R3-A3, which was also in the TV series Rebels. Disney then hired me to build other droids for different theme parks. So I've been doing that for about 5 years. This was a hobby, so I found an R2-D2 Builders Club in 2001, and I joined the club, and I built my first R2-D2, and it was just a passion. I just enjoyed robots, growing up as a kid, so I wanted to build movie robots just for the fun of it, having no idea that it would lead to a career working for Lucasfilm and Disney. It's just fun to meet a lot of people that I grew up watching as a kid. We've done several movie premieres, and of course we get to work with the actors that were in the movies when we do the press junket. Things I've worked on in the past, obviously building R2-D2, I built a mouse droid, a walking C-3PO costume, Chopper from Star Wars Rebels, and then things we're currently working on I can't really talk about. We're working on new droids, and at some point we'll be able to talk about those a little bit in greater detail. It's always good to have a solid background in math. There's a lot of geometry involved, and every day I'm dealing with numbers, so math is super critical. You don't necessarily need to be a college graduate, you just have to have a passion for building things, and you can always find people that are already making things and work with them, find a mentor, internship programs. A lot of times when I needed to make something specific and I didn't know how to do it, I went to YouTube, found YouTube videos. There are thousands of videos on building things on YouTube. So it's just a process of finding what you really want to do, and then finding the right people with experience to learn from. I would say our biggest challenge typically is time. At one point we had several months to build a robot. Now, if Disney comes to me, I may have weeks. In some cases I've had to hire other prop builders that have experience in those fields and bring them in and put together a small team just so we can turn things around quickly. Follow your passion. I mean, if there's something that you really are interested in, get creative, try to learn as much about it as you can. Find people that are in those fields, talk to them and find out what it takes to fulfill that dream. Never give up. I mean, sometimes it's a matter of just making things on your own, and you have to have some sort of a portfolio, to show people. So whether it's photography or video or anything else, you just need to build up your resume. So it's just keep creating, and eventually you'll be noticed. If you have an interest, follow it. Just pursue it. Find people that can help guide you if you would like to pursue it as a career. Just don't give up. Be tenacious. Some of the greatest minds. You see Walt Disney and George Lucas, some of these others. They had all kinds of failures, early on in their careers, but they learned from them. They moved forward, and eventually they got to where they were. So never give up.
Remember to follow us on Twitter at Monache TV. Here are some responses to last week's question of the week. What is your greatest strength or weakness? Joel Smith writes, my greatest weakness is that I start to sweat every time I eat pomegranates too fast. David Castaneda writes, my biggest strength is using big words to sound smart. My greatest weakness is using big words to sound more photosynthesis. Goofy Libra writes, my greatest strength would have to be the large extent of how much I care about those I hold close to me. Richard Lawrence writes, my greatest weakness is writing tweets. Sienna Correa writes, my greatest strength when I switch into hyperdrive to finish my work last minute. Weakness at Karina Jera. Remember to respond to this week's question of the week. Would you rather fight one horse-sized duck or 100 duck-sized horses?
Congratulations to Monache's Cadet Corps. Their unarmed and armed squads took first in the state competition last Saturday.
Well, that's all we have for you today, Marauders.
Have a great day.
Nope.
Please turn it off.